Ladies, good morning. I'm excited for today's live stream because it's in response to actually a number of questions you ladies have been sharing with me, and I've observed kind of across different Facebook mom groups, just in conversation, a lot of women, especially stay-at-home moms with a couple or a lot of kids, are wondering how do they keep their house in order without losing their mind? It's a really good question. I've had to work through it, and I'm going to address it today. So, real quick, in case you don't know, I'm Tara, Christian wife, mom of 10, and I help moms embrace the blessing of children and manage their hearts and their home and doing it with joy and confidence. So that's what I'm here for. That's who I'm looking to connect with. So if that's something you are looking for as well, please feel free to join the Joyful and Confident Moms of Many Facebook group. That's the place where I meet and just bless the women who are there, really nurture them and meet them where they're at. Because I've journey of embracing the blessing of children. I actually used to be really scared of having a lot of kids and felt overwhelmed and unprepared for motherhood. So if that's something you relate, please come on over and join the Facebook group. If you're catching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you always get the notifications of the new content. And everybody who joins a subscriber this week on YouTube and on the Facebook group will be automatically entered into a free giveaway this week. So here's a question. Is your house a mess most of the time? It's okay. I'm not judging you. Just asking. How do you feel about it? Fine with it? Okay. If you don't feel good about it, do you maybe feel embarrassed? Do you feel stressed out? A bit overwhelmed at times? Is it like, you clean up, you turn around, 5 minutes later, 20 minutes later, it's like a tornado hit again? Do you sometimes feel like you don't even know where to start? Well, I get it, because it can feel super overwhelming. And especially when you have little ones or you've just had a new baby, maybe you're recovering from birth or a C-section or going through something else in your life, in your health, something that's taking time and energy away from housework. Or, this happens to me a lot, people keep giving you stuff. I mean, nice people with like bags and bags of stuff because they're like, you got a bunch of kids, I'm sure you can use this. And I might maybe use like a tenth of what they offer me. So I end up with a lot of stuff in the same bag they gave it to me, now piling up in my garage, waiting to go to the Village, our thrift store here. So I start to feel my anxiety levels rising and I'm getting stressed out because I just feel like the walls are closing in and I've just got too much stuff and the messes just keep piling up and I can feel it. My stress rising and I'm just like, going around the house. I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but it's kind of like a nightmare moment, like in a horror movie where I'll look up and suddenly I'll look around my house and I'll be like, oh my gosh. Marks everywhere from about 2 feet to 4 feet on every single wall, up and down the stairs. I'm like, why didn't I see this before? It's embarrassingly obvious. So if you're feeling this way and it's getting to you, like you're losing sleep, you don't want to have people over. If people come over unannounced, you're like, oh my gosh, please don't come in my house. You're apologizing to people all the time for the state of your life. I have some simple advice for you that has really, really helped me so much. So here it is. I have a simple system called the triage. You might be familiar with the concept of triaging if you've ever gone to the ER. And if you have many kids, you probably have at least one trip to the ER, or you will. That's life. In the ER, the emergency room, the staff there operate on a triage basis, right? Like three things. So they first assess who's the most critical, like who's going to die if they don't get first care. Second would be urgent, like it's serious, but not first. And then third is non-urgent, but will eventually need care. So critical, urgent, and non-urgent. So those are three categories used in the ER. And I take that concept and I bring it to my home when my stress levels are rising. So I sit down, or maybe I just do this in bed, my brain's going a million miles a minute. Might even get a piece of paper or send myself an email. That's one of my favorite things. And I'll just write down what's critical. Like what's critical? And critical for me in my home is what's dangerous, like someone's going to get hurt. And if it's not dangerous, the next level of critical for me is it would bring me the most stress reduction. So much better if that one thing were different. So once I've identified the most critical thing to me, then I've gotten specific. I have something very specific as a goal, right? And kind of like losing weight, if you have a goal to lose weight, maybe a big goal, maybe you're like, oh my God, I got 50 more pounds to lose or something. And listen, if you have any amount to lose, it can seem pretty daunting, especially at the beginning. Looking up any mountain, it looks really high. And when you're looking at your house and you've got a lot of things that need to be done, it's daunting and overwhelming. So triage, pick one thing, just one, and something that I would radical, seriously dangerous, or would bring you the stress reduction. So if it's the first thing you choose, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be small, it could be big. Whatever it is, a larger project is going to take multiple steps. It's not something you can do in one hour or less. I'd recommend it down into smaller steps. Again, just like you would with weight loss, right? No one's going to lose 20 pounds in a month, not safely and not sustainably. So you break it down into smaller, realistic, achievable goals, and you celebrate each step of the way, right? That's a really effective technique for any health change, especially in weight loss. Same concept applies in attacking your home and conquering it rather than feeling conquered by it. So break it down smaller steps, and if it's helpful, create some kind of simple system that helps you see those goals, and like calendar day to achieve them. I use a sticky note system. My middle name is like Sticky Note because I notes. My microwave is covered with them, and I actually have them in columns moving right to left of today's sticky notes, tomorrow's sticky notes, later in the week sticky notes. So that's kind of a triage, like a mini on my microwave of what am I doing today, tomorrow, and later, like later this week. They're there so I don't forget, because for me, out of sight, out of mind. That's just, I know that about myself. So I use sticky notes to break down my goals, my appointments, make sure I stay on top of things. And lastly, let's see. I'm just reading my notes here, make sure I don't miss anything, and I wanted to give you the good stuff. Right. So triage, so you can focus on one thing, one step, just one day at a time as you move towards the goal. And think about how good you're going to feel when it's done, when the sticky notes are in the garbage, and you can check that off your mental checklist because you did it. It is such a rewarding feeling, especially when you're in a place today of feeling and not knowing where to start, maybe upset with yourself because you keep procrastinating maybe, and that embarrassment when people come over. Think of how good you're going to feel when you don't feel that way anymore, when you feel happy and productive and capable. Now, it might just be one thing, and maybe you're the only person who knows it got done. But that inside sense of accomplishment is really powerful, kind of like wind in your sails. Now, you might feel more like, all right, you're not at the bottom of the mountain anymore. Keep going and set the next goal. Maybe something that was urgent, it could wait, but it's on the list. It's on the list. Maybe you need some help to get it done from a handy person or a husband or a friend. Maybe it's a little bit beyond your capacity. So by all means, put that into the one step of the till get there. Rome wasn't built in a day. You don't lose 50 pounds in a month. You can get there one step at a time. So best advice, it really helps me clear through the paralysis that can come with feeling overwhelmed, and there's just so much to do. Don't do it all. Not all at one time anyway. But start somewhere. Start with the triage. You'll get there. Get there. And don't worry about the non-urgent stuff. You'll get there. You'll get there. Non-urgent stuff is non-urgent, right? By definition, it's a home that I've waited years. And I don't feel guilty. I'm taking care of the most important things. My family, me, my priorities, and non-urgent items that are like, oh, it'd be really nice to get that organized, really nice to get that tidy, but like, no, one's going to die if I don't get around to it anytime soon. In perspective. That's what I've got for you today, ladies. I hope this blessed you. If you haven't already joined the Facebook group to receive more of this content and support, I encourage you to do that. And here's something fun. I've got a challenge starting in July, tying in with today's content. This is going to be a get it done challenge. You want to get something done in your home. You really want to accomplish something because you're frustrated. You've been pushing it off for a long time. Maybe you could use some support to set those goals and move towards getting it done. And to help you do that, so you can experience that comes by accomplishing a little step-by-step project or a big step-by-step project, I'm going to host a 1-month challenge in July where right along with you, we're set a goal. Everybody will have their own goal. And I'm going to work with you 3 times a week together, check in, and I will help you and support you and encourage you. And we're going to share that with each other so we can celebrate the success of getting maybe a couple of things done. So if you'd like to do that challenge, I'll have more details coming on the Facebook page soon so that you can be part of it. Just sharing that with you. That's it for today, ladies. God bless you. Take care of yourself. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow at 11 o'clock.